Good evening. We present the news summary. The police say that autopsy results on the 3 men who died in a fatal accident at Karana show that severe injuries to the upper parts of their bodies was the cause of death. The accident that occurred in the early hours of Tuesday cost the lives of Derek Porris, Terry Arisol, and Paul Waro. A 4th man involved in the accident is still in intensive care unit. His condition has been described as stable. And the police has also said that 2 adults and 2 children have been admitted to the Seychelles hospital following a road accident on Pralin. A 4th person involved in the accident on Pralin is in the intensive care unit. The COVID-19 situation in Seychelles remains unchanged. In a press conference this afternoon, the Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gédéon, said that out of the 11 confirmed cases, 5 patients are still at the Perseverance Treatment Center, where they are still undergoing tests. 6 have been discharged to the quarantine center at the Beauvallon Bay Hotel. The restrictions in movement of people who are not in essential services remains in force until the 4th of May. Members of the public should continue to maintain preventive measures as the risk of contracting the virus are ever present, especially at the ports of entry.
Up to now, we have 1 more patient who have been cured, who is now transferred to the quarantine center at Beauvallon Bay. So we have 6 people who are recovered fully, who are waiting to be discharged home in the very near future. 5 remain in isolation at the treatment center. We'd like to thank the population for understanding and appreciating the importance of extending the restriction period from the 30th of April up to the 4th of May, the Monday. And this is important because that date would mark the second 14 days, which will in total 28 days, since the last case was detected.
Dr. Gédéon has also expressed concern in the surge of dengue cases since the beginning of the year. So far, 75 cases have been recorded with 45 confirmed cases.
We have 3 types circulating since several years, but this beginning of the year, we have noticed a slight increase. Up to now, we have tested 75 people who are positive with the rapid test. With the confirmatory test, about 45. There are more tests that is being done. Dengue is a dangerous illness. It can kill, especially if you get new form of it. But this prevention also is very simple. Destroy mosquitoes in your environment, and your risk of getting dengue would be greatly reduced.
The Financial Assistance for Job Retention Committee will start making payments this week to business owners who have applied for assistance. The scheme is aimed at providing salary assistance to businesses and non-governmental organizations that have been negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Secretary of State for Finance, Patrick Payette, said in a press conference this afternoon that the committee has so far received more than 2,500 applications, and it has completed assessment of 251, for which payment is to start this week. Due to the restriction of movement, the committee has extended the date of application and collection of all documents to the 8th and 15th of next month, respectively.
The committee has already rejected some application because of maybe some of the documents that we have received. Some people are on several payrolls, or some of them have businesses but they are working elsewhere. So we have the NIN of those people. So we've been able to verify these. And as well, some businesses that have almost 50 million rupees in the bank accounts has done some application. But based on the assessment, we've seen that they will be able to pay. On average, their payroll is about 3 million rupees. So over the next 3 months, they will be able to absorb these costs. As you know, previously, the deadline for all applications to be received for the month of April was the 30th of April 2020. But however, based on the restriction of movement that exists currently, so we have prolonged the deadline for the 8th of May 2020 for us to still collect the documents for April. And then we'll start the process for the May application, and the deadline will be the 15th of May 2020.
The Bankers Association, which comprises of 9 banks plus the Credit Union and Development Bank, has agreed to implement relief measures to support clients who are facing financial difficulties as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. During a press conference this morning, Bernard Jackson, a member of the Bankers Association, said banks have received more than 1,100 cases and has approved 800 requests. The banks are still processing 344 cases. These include individuals, micro, small and medium enterprises and large businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector, as well as in other sectors.
What we are doing is looking principally at the MSMEs, especially in the tourism sector. We have defined a scheme for companies with turnover of less than 25 million and self-employed individuals, where they will be able to access 2 principal forms of financial assistance. The first one is the moratorium of 6 months that we prepared to give on existing loans, and the second one being an assistance for their cash flow. So any deficit that they're facing in the cash flow, we are going to give them a loan at very low rates. The rate is 1.5% per annum. So that is the first type, which is a broad measure, which has been defined with central bank. And all the banks are also considering on the other side for any customer, because we've seen that many types of businesses are also affected by the crisis. These customers are also being considered by the banks on a case-by-case basis. We are either giving them 6 months or 3 months moratorium, depending on what kind of financial difficulties they are in. And this is where they come to the bank and we look at their cash flow and we give them a support based on their specific situation.
The minister responsible for civil aviation, Didier Degley, met with the newly appointed board of directors for the Seychelles Civil Aviation Authority, SCA. The new members were appointed yesterday. Mr. Sekutu Patel is chairperson of the new board of directors. The other members are Mrs. Anne Lafortune, Mr. Benjamin Chopi, Mr. Vincent Amélie, Ms. Cindy Vidot, Ms. Nadine Potter, and Mr. Ange Morel. Mr. Gary Albert, the CEO of SCA, will sit on the board as an ex officio member. Muslims throughout the world begin the Islamic holy month of Ramadan tomorrow. They will be observing fast from dawn to sunset every day. However, this year, with restriction due to the COVID-19 situation, all gatherings are banned. The weekly Friday prayers, which usually brings together 600 worshippers, have also been suspended for the past few weeks. Tomorrow, for the first time in the Seychelles history, the khutbah, that is the sermon in Muslim, which is the most important of Friday prayers, will be televised on SBC3 beginning at 1 p.m. This was the news summary. Thank you for your attention.